So let's talk to Charlotte in the UK. Charlotte is calling with an update. Charlotte, welcome to the show.
Hi, Vi. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for calling back. What's going on?
So last time I phoned up, I spoke to Christy and Rudy and Matt Delahunty, and I was considering coming out to my mum. So I'm polyamorous and bisexual and a bit genderqueer, and my mum had no idea. We had quite a difficult relationship, and we're not very close. And I thought that some of the shame that she kind of instilled in me about the body and women's sexuality, and especially, women who are interested in women, was kind of projecting from her Catholic upbringing. So that's what we kind of talked about last time I phoned in. Mm-hmm. And so it's been a few weeks, and I was feeling quite good at that time and quite affirmed. And I thought, there's a few ways that she could take it. But because we've been so distant, maybe this would be, a good tell of if she accepts it and kind of gets to know me and who I actually am, then it might be quite productive. But if she doesn't, or if she's strange about it, or if she uses it for something, or if it becomes a family joke or something like that, then that's not going to affect me so much, because, I know where we're at, and I know that my sexuality and my identity is mine, and it's great. So it's, I thought that would just be, well, obviously you're not someone I need in my life. But it's been kind of mixed. So initially, I sent her a message on Messenger, because I thought she's quite receptive to letters and writing and stuff like that. So I felt it was a good way to do it. And I didn't throw any kind of buzzwords at her or anything. I said, I actually have, and I'm married, but I actually have a number of partners. These are kind of all those people. These are kind of the relationships within that network. This is what they kind of add to my life, who they kind of are. Initially, she was really supportive. She said, sorry that you've been carrying around shame and kind of not wanting to approach me about this. But then about a week later, on Valentine's Day, she called me saying, basically, where does this leave me? And it was a bit strange, and it kind of took me aback, because we had quite a big argument over the phone. And for a number of years, my mum's been kind of really denying my identity, and kind of throwing me insults when I would kind of dress how I felt comfortably, act how I felt comfortably, presented myself, who I dated, who I spent time with. And it was really, really controlling behaviour.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, when this happened, I was quite kind of emotionally vulnerable anyway, because in the news in the UK, a girl called Sarah Everard, she was murdered, and the accused is a PC for the Metropolitan Police. And I've been sexually assaulted before, so it brought back a lot of trauma for me. And the next time I spoke to my mum, she said that I just casually mentioned, isn't it awful on the news? And she said that the people protesting were bandwagoning Sarah Everard's family's grief.
Yeah, that tends to be the line is, oh, they're just looking for attention and using this person. There's no such thing as real outrage or real grief when it makes the majority uncomfortable. Charlotte, it sounds to me like you had a pretty intense couple of weeks there. It sounds like you and your mom are kind of still figuring this out. I think that probably if I could guess at what happened in the moment, your mom probably was like, oh, I'm talking to my child. Like, of course I'm going to be understanding. Of course, like they're coming out to me. She is coming out as all of these things. I love that you said you avoided buzzwords and just kind of said it. You know, a lot of the time there can be negative stigma attached to certain words, unfortunately. So I love that. What probably happened was she went away and she talked with somebody else, whether that's a family friend or a pastor or someone in her community, or maybe she just did some thinking on her own and realized that she didn't understand it as much as she thought she did. Or maybe somebody gave her something to be anxious about. And so she probably came back to you with a lot of those anxieties kind of renewed and at the front of her mind. So what I would suggest, if you are looking for advice, if this is just an update, that is awesome, and we're happy you called back in. But as some friendly just advice from a stranger on the internet, I think that from what I'm hearing, your mom is receptive to this, and it's very possible that she will be able to come around. I do think that it's going to take a lot of education on your part, right? You are going to have to educate her about some things, and you're going to have to be very patient, and that can be draining, and that can make phone calls very tedious, and it could result in some hair pulling, right? But I do think that it's worth it. I know I've had to have conversations with my parents, with my mom, about similar things. And I know that she loves me, and I know that ultimately we're going to be fine. But there's always going to be that element that she just doesn't quite understand. And we both have to be okay with that being the case. So I don't know. Does that help?
It does to a certain extent. There's a lot going on where my mum's concerned. And I think that she's definitely coming with a lot of anxiety. But I think a lot of it's issues that she needs to work on and has always needed to.
But having an understanding child there to walk her through some of this is going to help so much. So kudos to you for coming out. I know that can always be scary, and I'm glad that at least it wasn't a bad situation. At least, there wasn't any, instant regret. I know that can be the case sometimes. But yeah, as you continue to have these conversations, feel free to call back and let us know how things go, okay?
Okay, sure. I mean, what I was trying to get at really is that my mum was actually abusive. So it's not really going to be something that's kind of that I'm even sure is going to be curable. But it's made me realise that what's important now isn't kind of calling her when she needs me to call and sticking to the schedules that she sets, but kind of just being who I am, not really giving any detail around it, not doing telephone calls if that's not what I can handle, and also kind of filling my life with the people who actually do know and love me as well. We've still got really strict lockdown in the UK, but we can form support bubbles if somebody lives on their own. And at the moment, my girlfriend's living on her own, so she came over on Friday, and that was wonderful. So those kind of things are really, really helpful. But yeah, it's just it's interesting because the point map now is quite objective, and what I know that I need to focus on now is me, and what brings me joy and happiness and freedom and comfortability, really.
I love that. Charlotte, it sounds like you've done a lot of thinking and a lot of growing, and it sounds like you're in a really good place right now. Thank you so much for calling in. And of course, if you have other updates to share with us or other questions that come up as you start pursuing these new relationships and this new perspective on your life and your relationship with your mom, please don't hesitate to call in, okay?
Great. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you. Bye.